Views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. I represent Bahamian people. I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up Baytown, bro. Where I from Baytown, bro. Right between West and Augusta, where them two roads meet, they call it Wilkinson Street. Manners and respect was like a sign blank check. It seems the ones that coming after quick to disrespect. You see, this life in the ghetto never easy. So many hungry days break till it grieve me. But I doing the best I can, trying to turn my dollar to 100 grand. I represent the ghetto people. I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up Baytown, bro.
Good night, Bahamas. And it's a pleasure once again to be your host on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Telephone numbers tonight are 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. I am your host, Valentino, a.k.a. Scrooge, MP, or Governor, host of the talk show Inside the Inner City that premieres every Friday except holidays from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Best station in Nassau. You can text us at 422-GR96. And you know Inside the Inner City talks about the country's problem. We talk about solutions. We also address the problems in our country. Now, you know me from being a person who grew up in the inner city all my life, and I still live in the inner city up to this day. I still live through Lewis Street. I wouldn't want to be no place else besides the family island, where it's more, you have a lot of sand, sea, close to the water, which I am. I'm on Lewis Street. I'm not too far away from Long Wharf or downtown. But nonetheless, you could do a lot of more stuff on the island. You know me, I always looking to be a part of something that's going to help transform from a perspective when we're dealing with poverty, crime, child abuse, the family structure. That is my agenda. That is my passion. I've dedicated myself for over 20 plus years. Close to about 27 years, working with numerous government, churches, organizations from around the country. I have started a lot of organizations that you see helping a lot of people in the inner city community today. I have also been a non-profit paid consultant for many of the programs that you will see now happening in the country from both governments over the last 20 plus years. So my passion is to help promote programs that are beneficial, that are going to be beneficial to many of the residents who reside in the Bahamas, to give them a chance to become productive citizens, because I know deep down inside many of them want to do good, but they just don't have no connection, and the information that is out there is not really reaching them. And many of them, have stagnant means that they have lost their desire to become something great. So what we have to do as a country now is to help inspire them, put them in the right direction, nurture them. And I understand it because every day that I live in the community, people talk to me about their problems every day. I can't solve all their problems, but right for then and there, I might buy them something to eat, or give them some advice on where they can go to get some assistance, or send them in the right direction, or give them the right advice. And, many of them listen to me. There are so many people out there who take my advice out there. So all I can do as a citizen and use my voice and my influence when I have the opportunity to meet people around the country who have some position in the country, and I know that they are sincere on what they are doing, meaning that they really want to help, whether they are part of government or not. And I respect those individuals. That's why you see I never talk about a Lawrence Roll or C.B. Moss or Carlos Reed or Walter Henschel. Anyone who's doing positive, you'll never ever see me say nothing bad about nobody or no organization in this country, because I love anything that's helping people, as long as they are more concerned about the individuals more than themselves. I respect that. So today's show, we're going to have a number of topics here. We're going to talk about how the general election is around the corner, but there's more important things I want to talk about. There are some things I'm going to talk about later on in the show, so you have to give me time, people, to really explain it and show you why I have this show. Because I find a defect in the Bahamian society that we need to fix. And it's always in the newspaper, but we never pick up because we never look at it as something that is very serious. We brush it off, but it's very serious to show you where we're headed as a country when it comes to our youths. Our youths, that the poverty level in our country, and the government is doing the best that they can. But it has to be a more and more consecutive effort now, more than ever, for any government that comes in now to pay more attention to its citizen, and that's what I'm here for, because I see the need to pay more attention to the citizen, despite the billions of dollars that has helped transforming Exuma, helping transform Cat Island, and there's some transformation happening here in Nassau, Providence, but at a very slow pace. But places like Exuma and Cat Island, with a prime minister and deputy prime minister, they're building up these islands. They're building airports, they're building hotels, they're building low-cost homes, people are building rent-their-own homes. So they are doing what an MP is supposed to do, because they have the right resources. They have the Ministry of Works, they have BPL, they have all the assets. They have customs, so, and they have them on speed dial, so that when they need things to be done at a speedy fashion, that is happening, okay? So we need more of that in the inner city community. The MPs that are in this inner city community, honestly speaking, the $150,000+ they receive, if I'm correct, I know it's something around there, that is not near enough to deal with the wants and needs of the residents of those inner city community of Centerville, Benington, Angliston, those areas, because, like I said, a lot of people have a lot of need. And I'm going to show you why later on in the show, why I say the need is great. And the MPs of these communities are not bad MPs, okay? Jerome Campbell is doing an awesome job in Centerville. He's building a state-of-the-art community center, 3-story. That's going to be very beneficial to the community. On our side, being in Grandstand, it's a little more difficult. Mr. Watson is doing the best that he can. He has a very big constituency. People have mixed feeling in being in Grandstand, because, there are some people saying that things, ain't reaching them. And, it's a big constituency with the type of budget Mr. Watson has. It's very, very difficult, to really make he is making a great impact. But, the need is great, the need is really, really, very, very great, So we need just more support, these MPs in these constituencies of the inner city community. They need to see that they have a budget at least $1 million, where they can separate the community and deal with it from that perspective, at least $1 million or $2 million per year, to make some real changes in the community, slow progress. But like I said, they're not bad MPs, but I don't know if they're going to be able to be reelected coming in the next general election. Because I tell you the need is great. I'm not saying they're not doing a good job, but I'm just saying that we need more. We need more programs. We need more consistency in the community. Way more. We need more funds to be put in the MP's hand. Instead of $150,000, like I say, probably $1 million, $2 million. And these MPs have to be able to connect with each part of the community and be able to be on the ground to see the progress of the community, street by street, and that's what we want as residents, and who are about to vote in the next general election. So I want to say I always push programs that are very beneficial. I was invited this week to the Nassau Village Community Center. I was invited by the Small Business Development team, and who was leading that team? Miss Samantha Roll. Like I said, 2013, 2014, 2015, me, Samantha, and Miss Virgil Roll, Linda Virgil Roll, who is now working at the Life of Key School. She was head of the Urban Design Lab, and we were working together to see how we can draw up a structural plan on how we can empower the Bahamian people, and also see how we could tie in Bay Street to over the hill, working with IDB Bank. That's where the talk came up with the community centers. That's where the talks came up with the small business idea. Myself, students from the University of Bahamas, Samantha Roll, Miss Linda Virgil Roll, Miss Virgil Roll, who is now, like I said, to the Life of Key School. We all worked for about 2-3 years. Also, the students of Vienna, Austria, I had them doing a tour from the inner city community of Grandstand, Baintown. We went to Fish Fry, we went to Porterski Dock, we went to Collins Wall, we went fast University of the Bahamas. We canvassed the whole inner city community. They got a good glimpse of what needs to happen, and we came up with a structural plan. And, fortunate for us, it was the Urban Design Lab. Election time came around. We was about to do a pilot project. That was not able to come to fruition because government changed. When it changed, the Free National Movement came in. Dr. Hubert Alexander Minnis, who was now the former Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the government changed the name from the Urban Design Lab, and they changed it to the to the Over the Hill Initiative. Same concept, no different, just name change. But Samantha Roll, she left shortly after that. She was reinstated again under this administration. And I can tell you one thing, her personality and her character is one in a million. And she showed me respect when I was there working with her. She made sure I was seen. She updated me on the meetings. They sent transportation to come and pick us up. They did a remarkable job of allowing myself as a community leader to work and carry students from Guyana all around the country. I was an ambassador. They allowed me to be an ambassador, and I was allowed to take these people. I'm talking about 50 to 60 persons from Vienna, Austria. And we were able to come up with the Urban Design Lab. Many of the ideas that we came up with are now happening in the country today as we speak. So I want to encourage those out there listening to please listen closely. The Empowerment Project, the registration has begun. You can go to any one of the urban renewal centers in Nassau, Bahamas, even on the Family Islands. And the Empowerment Project is to help small business owners in the country who have small businesses, to help them expand their businesses, to help them save, to give them ideas. And those out there who are looking to start a small business, this is a great opportunity for you guys now to go to the urban renewal centers and inner city communities, get registered, go through the procedure, and think about small business that you would like to do for the time being. Think about it constructively. Have a plan, like where you like to have it. How much rent you're gonna pay. See if you could get your rent down, and etc. See if you could find a nice spot. You might want to open a barber shop. Somewhere on your property. You might have to do some advertising. They want to help you do all this kind of stuff. Okay. You might want to do some cosmetology. On your porch. To save from you going to pay rent. So all these things you got to look at. There are so many different opportunities out there, and so many different small businesses. You guys could go and get yourself involved with. It takes a little bit about it. It just takes little energy. Just get up, walk by the center, and keep on trying. Keep on trying. Keep on trying. And if you could get this small business started, it can change the whole dynamics of your life and your family life, because you could start off small and you never know where you're going to go in life. I watched Miss Elaine Pinder, who has over 7 or 8 locations of bamboo shacks across the country start off on Nassau Street. And we used to send guys on the bicycle from in Grandstand to go to bamboo shack because we wanted bamboo shack. Now, she started from one small location on Nassau Street right there. And look now, she's a multi-millionaire, okay? She looked for a good location where there's a volume of people. And then she taught her staff how to show hospitality to the customers, okay? She was always clean. The environment always clean. So there was no, and her workers, they know how to talk to people and how to serve. So she's able to start off from the small business on Nassau Street. Now look at her. Let's look at Purity Bakery, okay? When I was a little boy, that was one little small structure. Now that's making like close to over $200, $300 million a year, you know? So you can start from small. You just have to don't give up and try. So please, go look at the program, the Small Business Center, okay? For you coming on the 12th grades, for all the students, the 5,000 students coming on the 12th grade, those in 11th grade, you're coming on to school, so think of something like what you like to do. And go and check on the empowerment project, okay? The registration will start, and this could take you in the right direction. You know, there's a tourism market out there. You know, there's a taxi business out there. You know, you might want to get a taxi, you know. Taxi drivers make like $80,000 a year. You might want to get a jet ski, you know. You never know. You know, you might become a jet ski operator, you know, and go in the jet ski business, you know. You might want to open one little small store that's selling boxes and T-shirts, you know. You know, think of what you can do in your community, you know, but make sure this place is nice and clean and you get along well with people. This is a great opportunity, you know. I think they've given out close to over $60,000 to $70,000 with grants all around the country. So there's a lot of people who have taken advantage of the program, okay, and are benefiting from it. So you yourself who coming out of school, this is a great opportunity for you. For you who sitting on the street looking for something to do, that property across the road that's abandoned, maybe you could turn it into a barber shop. Or you and your friend could say, you know, or you have your girlfriend, y'all want something to do. Well, she could go into cosmetology. She could go to BTVI. She could go to line cosmetology. You could go and get line barber, and y'all two set up right there and keep the show at your grill and invite people to come, and then you get yourself a small business and keep on developing, you know, you understand? Check out the shoe wheel. That's in, what's the area that is? The Grove area on the left side, shoe village. That was one little small, little one thing, my biggest the garden room that I'm talking in right now. Okay, now the guy got a 3-story building, you know, you understand? And he started off with basic tennis. And we used to leave from way in our area just to go to buy the tennis because we heard about it got popular. You understand? And now Shoe Village is one of the biggest tennis stores in Nassau. You understand? And he created that in the inner city community. Small business can help transform the country. Let me tell you why. When I was a little boy, I told you, we never needed nothing. We had barber shops, we had tailor shops, we had small convenience stores. You know, we basically had everything. We had TV stores that fixing TV. You know, we had everything. We had everything. And so there was no reason you needed to steal, because there was so much money making that you could go to so many different business owners and they'd tell you, well, clean the pots for me, okay, or weed on the side of the yard, or come take out the garbage, you know. So those out there who were not employed were actually working in the community, because there were so many different businesses that you could go to. So that made you never be able to work. Even though you don't work, you're still working, because the small business themselves creating work for those who in the community. You know, some of the guys on drugs and they're thieving. So they don't need the thief if they have these stuff. And this could take away the drugs, because the poverty level in the community is one of the reasons why so many people was on drugs, because no opportunities. The small business just dwindled in the Bahamas in the last 40 years. Not taking no short at no nationality, okay? Things has reversed. One time ago, Bahamians had all the small business. Now all the barbershops are Jamaicans and Haitian nationals and Bahamian nationals as well. And this is like I say, I'm not a racist person. I'm just telling you the facts. E Street, Blue Hill Road, Market Street, from that straight to Wolf Road, all those are small businesses along those roads. More basically, we had a lot of different races here who had a lot of business. But I'm saying now, the majority of small businesses now, Jamaican, the majority of convenience stores, one time ago was Bahamians, now it's Chinese, and now you're Haitian nationals and Bahamian nationals as well, which, like I say, they deserve what they are, what they get in the country, because we have failed to really push ourselves in the country. We got in a state where we got like just frustrated with the governance, every time we vote in the government, what we're expecting from the government to come up with creative programs like small business and rent their own homes. If these things was happening full scale from 40 years ago, maybe we wouldn't have been in this position we're in now, because we'd had a middle class that stays middle class in the inner city community. So the poverty would have not developed the way it developed, and then that take on a course of itself, just like the war in Iran. If you see, Trump started it, and look at spiral, going from one country to the next, out of control now. He has no control over that. You understand? He has no control over that. The same thing here. When we let things get out of hand, right? When when a few are benefiting, and we don't see it that way. But eventually, we all start to feel it in the next 20, 30 years when we see there's a disconnect with the haves, and the have-not. And that's, why I want to encourage you, please, go check out the small business development. You want further information, you could ask to speak to someone on the road. Go to the Urban Renewal Centers. That's all you have to do. Go, sign up, give your information, and just pursue it. I don't know what you want. You could sell telephones and all. You could go and rent one little place and sell minutes, BTC, and live, and then you could buy some phones, and you could sell with minutes to individuals to a cheap price. You might link up one of them companies in China, with the small business side. I'm just giving you ideas. People like electronics. You could take your $5,000, $10,000 and buy a volume of TVs and just go in the TV business. With a small business in the city community. There's so much possibilities. Not even talking about the jungle aspect. How you can use your hands to buy pants, and you can actually paste them. And you can sell them to the tourists, paste a nice set of John pants, put your brand on it, with a small business, you get your license, and you could go right downtown and you showing your John pants and shirt. You selling them just like how you selling Michael Jordan tennis, but this from the Bahamas. You put Andres, you put Abaco on it, you put whatever you want it. They're gonna buy them, nice shirts, with nice painted Jonkru pants and Jonkru shirt, nice and neat and pretty. They'd sell different sizes, man. Come on, man. You could even do the tennis like that. Tourists would be walking downtown with those stuff. Saying they come to the Bahamas, you could sell them in abundance. Think, Bahamian people, think. All right? Be creative. Small business is what created the Bahamas. Okay? Think. And I like the promote things like this, and I'm quite happy to see Samana Rule has been given this task, and me, who also assisted with the program, I'm happy as well, because that's me contributing to helping the Bahamas. That is greater than receiving money. You know how happy I am to see that helping people, and that's all I ever wanted to do, to see that we continue to help grow the nation. Let's put the envies and jealousies aside. It's hard with this election now, but I'm a nationalist and I can work with anyone. So again, small business development. Please go. Okay, now let me start my topic. Start my show. Okay. All right. I want to start off on why we should have this talk today and show you some points I'm going to make with some incident that happened to a young girl, a young boy, and I want to show you how it reflects on our country, all right? And if we don't fix it, it's going to continue to happen. But before I do that, I just want to play some clips about some candidates who are wying as independent. Some are wying to be the next representative of Fort Charlotte, Travis Robertson, and the Boss Bastian. I want to talk about that as well, how it is very beneficial to that community because you have two young individuals who are doing great things in that community. And for Fort Charlotte, I know you guys must be feeling with a thumbs up. There are so many people say they wish they was living in Fort Charlotte. But I'm going to talk about it as soon as I get there. Right, so we're going to play the first clip about the former Prime Minister Hubert Alexander Minnis talking about the works that is happening in this community, and then we go from there.
Political season, whatever is done in the Kalani constituency or within the Bahamas to improve the quality of life for the Bahamian, I appreciate it. And even if you want to do it under the disguise of your own candidate, I don't care. I am not looking for brownie points. I'm only looking to improve the quality of life of the citizens or the residents of Kalani. I don't care who gets the honors or who gets the accolade. The most important thing is that the Kalani residents benefit.
Yeah, that's my talk because I'm a nationalist. I know he said he is a good MP. Mind you, listen to me. He is a good MP. I'm not gonna take no credit away from an individual who does good as an MP. He has done great for Kalani. He's been advocating for Kalani. And many people are saying that you could even do better when you was Prime Minister. Or Commonwealth Bahamas. Well, like I say, everyone, no one is perfect. Some people learn from their mistakes. Probably now, Dr. Minnis, has to change of heart because they say sometimes in defeat you also win because it changes your personality. Sometimes it humbles you. But I don't know if the Bahamian people are really going to forgive you because we had a dose of that with the former Prime Minister Perry Gladstone Christie when he asked to give us a second chance, and boy, did he really give us a second chance. You understand? He did very well to many people, but at the end of the day, we voted him out after a second term. So like I say, Minnis is a good member of Parliament. Many people and myself, would say things like, like on the part of him being a Prime Minister, I separate that from being an MP. But him being a Prime Minister, he did some good things, but he did some very, very things to the Bahamian people. We don't like lockdown. We come under slavery under the British regime. So, we ain't that lockdown, all right? We even though it was a COVID-19, we understand that. We understand that, but at the end of the day, we don't like lockdown. Just like many Bahamians don't like needles. You understand? That's why heroin could never spread to the Bahamas, because we didn't like needles. Trust me. That's why needle injection cannot work in the Bahamas. Any other place in the world, they would have needles injection, not us. Before we take a needle, and I mean we take it, if it was a must, but don't. So we're gonna play the next clip.
Seven-point plan, I have it in my hand. Hello everyone, I am Captain Travis Robinson, the Free National Movement candidate for the great constituency of Fort Charlotte. Today, I am excited to announce the official release of my bold agenda, 7-point plan for the great constituency of Fort Charlotte. I am inviting residents all across our community from the 13 polling divisions to come on down to my headquarters located on Foster Street and Churchill Avenue, just across from the St. Michael's Methodist Preschool, where you can pick up a copy of your own bold agenda, 7-point plan. I will be here at the office Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Excited to meet with you and talk with you to discuss my bold agenda on entrepreneurship and youth development, on housing, infrastructure, social development, on youth, sports, and culture in our community, and community spirit along with safety and crime prevention. It's an exciting, bold agenda. Pick up your copy today and let's move Fort Charlotte forward.
That's former Member of Parliament Travis Robertson. He is the youngest Member of Parliament. He broke the record from Chihuahua Guardian. That's the youngest Member of Parliament, I think so. He also is show his hand in the race for the constituency of Fort Charlotte. He's the front runner along with Sebastian. And both of them are going at it. They're doing great things in that community. I don't know who's leading. It looks like Sabas might have a little slightly edge or a big edge over Travis Robertson. So let me just give the props to Travis Robertson. He has some things here. He has a farmer's mart. Sunday, March 15th, 2026 at 2 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. The project farmers market, distribution of locally grown vegetables and fruit. So you can come out. Let me see where this is. Corner of Ferguson Street, West Bay Street. So I guess there's some supplies for backyard farming kits. So you can go again. Corner of Ferguson Street, West Bay Street, Papal Track. Captain Travis Robertson leading with integrity. That's his 7-point plan, what he has for Fort Charlotte. Again, he's an extraordinary former Member of Parliament. I wish him all the best. I know it's going to be a tough task. This election is going to be very tough. Some MPs are going to separate themselves. Both of them are on the ground. It's going to be very interesting. I guess this is going to be a nail biter. This is going to be a nail biter. We could play the next clip, please.
The candidate for Fort Charlotte, Sebastian, is responding to Free National Movement candidate Travis Robinson's assertion that the constituency is not for sale. Robinson has been described as the underdog in the battle for Fort Charlotte, with Bastian constructing a technology center in the area within a matter of months, in addition to carrying out infrastructural works, hosting major events, and flooding communities with political banners.
My political opponent is the 5,973 registered voters. It is them that I am competing to convince that I am the person that should represent them for the next 5 years and take their community higher.
Just months after throwing his hat into the political ring for the first time, Prime Minister Philip Davis has Sebastian's future in the PLP and the country is bright.
I've been at this for a very long time, thanks to my parents who have, showed me, just the value of hard work and, community outreach and philanthropic endeavors, programs. It's nothing new for me. My IL Cares Foundation has been active in the entire country. My own Bahamas program, it's celebrated a decade last year, which has successfully started over 88 businesses, investing over $5 million in grants, events, and programs and training. So for us, it's just taking those successful programs and repurposing them and pointing them squarely and directly for the residents of Fort Charlotte, and just continuing my DNA, which is to empower.
However, he shrugged off questions over whether he hopes to one day lead the PLP.
It's important that we don't be distracted to entertain impatient aspirations, as I coined stuff like that. Like I said, we have an election to focus on that is in sometime this year. I heard the bell is shined. I don't know when he's going to ring it. And that is where the focus is. And if we plan to be victorious at the polls, and then the day after election, we must govern. And it's the result of that governance that will determine wherever the future holds for the party at large.
You heard it from Mr. Sebastian. He's given his take to the comments made by his rival, Mr. Travis Robertson. And this is just political rival. They don't hate one another. It's just one is a FNM, one is a PLP, and they represent both parties, and they're going to the general election. Both of them are doing a great job on the ground. If you look at Sabah's portfolio, he has been involved in helping small businesses for over 10 years. Listen to how much funds he has spent personally helping people start their small businesses. That speaks for itself. Travis Robertson has been doing some great things when he was the Member of Parliament for being a grandstand. Now he is against a juggernaut, but there are still people in the community who takes to the Free National Movement. Some of them, will die being a free national movement, just as we have people who would die being PLP. Then you have some people who are PLP and half of them who would vote for the party based on the character of corruption, on how they talk to the Bahamian people. So you have people like that who would be a part of a political party, but they stand for what's right in the country, okay? And then you have some people who are not a part of the party, thinks that same way for what, like how the party conducts itself when it comes to corruption, and people vote on basically on that, what is true, you know, what the party has done is true. And if they are not being truthful and saying one thing to the Bahamian people and doing the next, we take that as insult and we normally vote you out. But Sabas, like I say, you know, he is a good person. Travis said that, you know, he Fort Charlotte is not for sale. You know, it's a very difficult situation. You know, Travis could be right. Also, he could be wrong. Because, you know, at the end of the day, it's like this. People are hurting in these communities, and people say you might as well give them something for more vote. You know, I'm not saying you should vote for Sabas or you should vote for Travis because of these special treatment, but, you know, people hurting, you know, and they, you know, if a lady could get a roof fix and get a new toilet, get a light turning on and a yard clean up and probably even get a little small business, that's a plus, you know. That's what I've been pushing for, you know, all these years, to just give people an opportunity. How he achieved and how he's doing that, you know, as a first-time candidate, you know, he's one of the first to be able to use his own money. So the government has actually allowed him to use his resources. But he wouldn't have been able to use those resources if he was not able to be community-minded by the programs he was doing way before he got involved in politics. So he prepared himself, you know, as the fact of him leading the PLP party. Come on. The reporter, listen, not because you have money and you might be famous and all that stuff, you're going to jump before people. It's a structure, it's an organization, you know, and I've been a part of the organization, I've been a part of governments, you know, over the years, and they know how to go. Probably the next 15 years to pass it, probably, if he still involved in politics next 15 years. Right now, it's after Brave, if they win the election, if they don't lose the election, you'd see a change, where probably Chester Cooper, and then after that, Sabas would be the runner and make the Chester Cooper until Brave stepped down. Same thing with Free National Movement. If Penta was to lose the election, or if he win the election, Penta would have 2 terms. I think Penta has 2 chances as opposition leader to try and be the next prime minister of the government of the Bahamas. After that, he's out of there. Depends on how they do at the polls. If he win, if they lose and they're able to get like 7 or 8 seats in the House of Assembly, then I'll be a strong opposition, you know. So it is what it is, but like that is going to be very, very tight, very, 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 very tight, you know. So yeah, so possibly if he keeps this up 15 years, well, not right now. He is not in the picture, you know. The party goes by seniority, and after Brave Davis, it'd be Chester Cooper, and after Chester Cooper, there could be any one of those guys who party pushed towards being the next, you know, opposition leader or etc. So Travis Robertson, he has some great plans, but like I say, people are hurting in Fort Charlotte. All people aren't hurting, but people want the community clean, you know. They want their houses in better living condition, you know. And they're getting assistance, you know. He is doing the same thing like what Chester Cooper and Brave is doing in Cat Island, respectfully. All of us, what they're doing respectfully, investing billions. And he himself is investing $1 to $3 million in the constituency of Fort Charlotte with his own pocket, you know, for charity events. I also like to say to the Bahamian people as well, you can also, the boys and girls, you also could join the National Youth Guard. That's a program out there that you also can join, okay? The National Youth Guard program, okay? I'm encouraging the females and males of this country to also join that. That's a government program, but it's a national program. And I'd always push things like this to give out the information on how you could get yourself involved. Also, you could do again, small business. I'd also like to say to small organization in the country, okay? I would like for you also to go to the gaming board of the Bahamas. So if there are organization out there, you have a little feeding program, you have a little basketball tournament that you've been doing year round, or if you have a program like a softball program or a swimming program or any program that you're doing to help the community, you have a little movie theater that you have in your little community that you have a little 20 or 30 or 50 kids, apply to the gaming board of the Bahamas, okay? Apply to the gaming board of the Bahamas. You could get grants up to $5,000 to help you with your program. That's a part of the government agreement with the number bosses, that they give them some percentage of the money they make or the numbers, and then they give it back to charity organization around in the country. So this is information for all you guys, okay? And that's what I do. So I'm going to start bringing the information to you guys as well. Also, if you're interested in agriculture, okay, young guys in school, listen, go and look up Bomsey. You even could get crown land. You can even get crown land if you sign up to Bomsey and go to the procedure. Omar Thompson and a young intelligent gentleman was on a show a few months ago, and they show all of the incentive that you could get by joining Bomsey. You're gonna be trained on how to grow fruits and vegetables, livestock, but also if you keep it up, you could also get a piece of property. So sometimes you say government ain't doing nothing, right? It's true, but there are programs that is provided that we just don't give a crap. We just so lazy that we don't go online and check consistently. These are programs that you could benefit from, okay? If a young guy out there has a farm or has an idea, wants to be a farmer, grow fruits and vegetables, Palms is the place to go. So get yourself involved, okay? Okay. Again, the gaming board of the Bahamas gives out incentives, okay? To any organization in the country, okay? My good friend, Ms. Alexander Melis, she is on board there, okay? So please, go and apply. We can play the last clip. How much more we get? One or two more? One more? Okay.
When you talk about fraud, that has an element of deceit. And the perpetrators are engaging in it to ensure that you don't discover it. And that's why sometimes it takes longer to figure it all out. We are troubled by the fact that our documents and other official instruments are being frauded in a way to mislead others. And I know that the police has taken note of this, and they are looking at how best to defend against it.
Do you think that threatens our national document on an international scale, though?
I'm not, but I don't think it's a threat per se, because the amount that we are talking about has not been that great. However, any fraudulent document that purports to be an official document of the government has the potential of undermining the integrity of that system.
Oh, I forget I was supposed to play that last, but anyway, it done played. So I'll talk about it real quick, but I can talk about that last. I can let you play it again last. I can let you play it last. I don't want to really get to why starting small businesses is important, that why MPs should pay more emphasis on building up the community and building up people. I want to show you why. We have a call. We're going to take this call, and then we're going to get back to why it's important to get the most investment and to build up the community, why it's so important. So we wouldn't have so many people at risk that do things just because they need a few dollars, and they damage their lives where there will be a point of no return, and then they have health issues because of the stress, and then they are going to be destroyed as a male and female in this country because they are being sexually abused. And it all comes down to the fact that they have no work, they have no income, and they have no one to depend on. And that's why I have this show inside the inner city. Go ahead, caller. You're on Inside in the City on Guardian Radio.
Yeah, enough respect, Scrooge.
Yes, brother.
Yeah, man, I agree with you what you're saying just now about how the youth are able to be exploited,
Yes.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But I mean, I was listening to you talking about, the political process and the things that's going on in the political world, right? And I mean, like when I listen to them, and I mean, I know it's all a game now. I mean, because I've seen too much. You know what I mean? Because to understand that the sweet talk is only sweet talk prior, and when they go in, nothing's gonna change because you don't see any of the candidates who have like a portfolio or who have like something that they were activists for before they were going into, like when they get in there, that they're gonna fight for this particular thing because once they join the party, it's just party politics.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yes, I mean, just listening into it, and I mean, I appreciate everything that Sabas was doing with the program for the entrepreneurship and different stuff like that, right? But I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I know people in the constituency or whoever who get the money, they like it, but it ain't nothing. There's nothing impressive but a man who has money to burn spending money.
Mm.
You understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I understand.
Because see, it's about what he wants to do for the country and not for himself. Now, I'm not trying to say he's in it for himself, but we have to wait if he's elected. But like I said before, he's going to be a part of a party. You understand? So what is he going to do? He's going to follow the PLP agenda. You understand where I'm coming from again?
I understand. I feel you.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if you were just sticking on the politics.
No. I got into my real topic. That just was rubbing it in right there.
All right, yeah, because I mean, Scrooge, sometimes I sit back and I really wonder, like what kind of country we really living in, you know what I mean? Because that recent case that was in the news about the one of an officer and the young girl.
That's what I was going to.
And catch them and stuff like that,
that's
right?
what I was going to. I talked with the last one. Go ahead.
I mean, I don't want to preempt it, but since I ain't gonna call back, I ain't gonna touch too much on it, right? One thing I can say is that, I mean, like listening to the other evidence that was found. Right? I mean, like, where I come from then. You understand? And I mean, if she was only in his companionship, or if not, then you got to find whoever else, the individual, because, I mean, we talking about from a very, very young age, and I can't just go like that, especially when there's evidence that something had occurred.
Yeah.
You understand where I'm coming from? And
Yes.
I mean, if that disappear, then I mean, like let us tell you what kind of system we living in, brother. Like, you know what I mean? And furthermore, I'd like to hear some updates on certain cases. You know what I mean? Because I heard an individual who was involved in a case where an individual lost his life. You know what I mean? Based upon some involvement of this individual that they are free, that they're walking around. You understand? And I mean, and that there was an incident that took place in Elizabeth State with Elizabeth State's home or something of mine. I mean, where the evidence was kind of clear cut too. I mean, I want to hear some updates on these cases, man. You understand? I come from Scrooge because see. What happens in this country is that whenever certain individuals get involved in certain illegal matters, right? Like you don't really hear about it no more. We forget about it, and those individuals never really answer for the crime.
I agree.
I mean, so I mean, like just man, living in this country, Scrooge, I ain't gonna tell you no lie. Like it's really scary.
Yeah, it's scary.
You understand where I come from? Because justice is something that really don't live here. I mean, unless you have wealth, then you get away with things, or you can probably get some justice. But otherwise, man, it's scary living here for the average person. And I mean, it's frustrating being a witness to certain things that go on in this country, where certain things are clear cut, and people never get held accountable for what they do, man. But I like how you encouraging individuals where they could go and find assistance, because, like you say before. The youth, them getting exploited because of lack of opportunity in their circumstances, and that's hard. You understand where I'm coming from? But I'd like to say this too, though. These government agencies, Scrooge, they got to do better too. You know what I mean?
Yes,
I hear
yes.
government agencies advertising some type of pitch competition and different things.
A who
I would
competition?
suggest anyone to do. If you have a good idea, don't care to them, because from personal experience, they're a bunch of jokers.
Yeah,
And
man.
hearing them talking about the pitch competition frustrates me, because I know they're a bunch of jokers. You understand where I'm coming from? So I mean, we the people just need to speak up more. You know what I mean? We are witness to too much corruption. You know what I mean? Too much things, and we just sit back and talk about it. You know what I mean? It's about time we start to say, you know what? Let's make these individuals who we hire to make the country a better place. Let's make sure they do their job, man. Because I'm tired of missing money here and there. $7 million beach and parks, just for example. I mean, too much things is go on, Scrooge, and we never, we just sit back and allow it. So we can stop paying people. Mm-hmm. We got to stop pay these people. You know, you can't pay people to mess up the country because then we're a bunch of real counts for two. Yeah. You understand where I come from, brother?
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Respect.
Yeah, man. But peace and love, Scrooge. And like I say, good show. And keep up the good work with the youth, man. But like I say, things got to change in this country, man. Scrooge, man. It's a scary place to live, you see.
Yeah. Your point is valid because when you're saying it's a scary place, you know, you're talking about the recent scenes where we had a former drug dealer, you know, he was killed. We had a person by the airport who was involved in it. He was killed by the airport. Then we heard all the witnesses who was named were called before they even, their names was called. Now all of them are dead. And then we have not seen the one brought before the courts for these individuals dead. You know, their name were called in some serious criminal offenses. And, you know, we heard it on Facebook. Then one by one, they're dead. So you have a right to say it's scary, you know, because we cannot forget, you know. Sometimes we just forget. Yeah, so I was saying the lack of want comes from poverty. And what poverty is? Poverty is a state of mind. It's also financial. It's also a state of mind that when you are in a community, whether you're a kid, whether you're an older person, if you have not accomplished things that you want to accomplish in your life and you're stuck in this community, sometimes you get spaced out. Okay? Spaced out means that you see the same people every day. You see the same things every day, and your life is not improving. You're just living day to day, hoping to pay the light bill, hoping to go on the streets and ask somebody for $5 or $10, and then you go get one little joint or something to smoke. You know, the ladies them sitting on the blocks looking for money to pay their rent, you know, and they have no one to turn to, so they're left with no other options but to go out there and make crucial bad mistakes that can put their health at risk, you know. Then we have kids, right? Okay, there was a report about it's on Facebook, and the gentleman who got accused of having sexual intercourse, he was acquitted of the charge. Now listen to this, people. A mother has a daughter. I don't know if she has more than one daughter, but anyway, she has a daughter. She has no transportation, so she is going to work. She only must have had a little $15 or whatever it is she had in the pocket, right? So she must have gave her daughter, you know, it could be anywhere from $5 or $6, because if people didn't get it, you know, people try to give their children at least $10 a day. The poorest people in this country try at least give their kids $10 a day because they have the catch bus. Who walking up the catch bus, sometimes they need breakfast, and then they're going to need lunch, and then they're going to need bus money to come back home. So most people try to give their kids at least $10. You know, that's very expensive. And if they have more than 2, 3 kids, you can imagine. So mothers would leave themselves broke because, you know, they're not getting along with the father, or the father himself is not employed, or the father is dead, or the father is just a deadbeat dad. It means that he has done nothing with his life. For the 40 or 50 years he's been here, he's been nothing but a bum. That means he has done nothing with his life. He was a bad boy. He continued to go to the bar, never put his future on the right track. Means he never had a career where he pursued and take on the responsibility of taking care of his children and himself, like putting a roof over his head, looking to buy a property and build a house, so that when your kids grow up, even if you're separated with your wife or your girlfriend, at least your child has some place to go. And then you have a business that if they're unemployed, you could at least assist them by saying, you know, you could clean the kitchen. You know, I have a restaurant or I have a bakery or something that you have that you could ease the burden of your children. And many of us don't have that. You know, we have children, but our children can't lean on us because we don't have none. We never planned. We never set a future. So when our kids coming up and stuff like that, they're going to suffer. So anyway, this is my assumption of it, because I like to read. The lady gave her daughter some money, tell her go to school. Her daughter, according to the report, I don't want to get over the character, but she said her daughter wasn't fully functional. She had some type of, disability. She said that she let her daughter go into work, to school. Once she left with the house before. The mother said she is on a bus, traveling wherever she's going, and then she glimpsed her daughter. So when she glimpsed her daughter was talking to a man, young daughter talking to a man. So the mother said that she looked and she wanted to get off the bus. Now listen to this, people. This is why I have this show, Inside the Industry. That's why the caller talked about the MPs. If the MPs and the government are not going to be very consistent on focusing on the main problem of getting rid of poverty on a high level, then we're going to continue to have these problems. So now the mother said that this was on Facebook. This right? This is on Facebook, people. Listen, these are things that I picked through and bring it to you guys, because I have a knack for the small things, which are big things, which are the big problems in the country. We look at the small things, but these are the major problems affecting the thousands of people in this country, facing our young people in the country. Listen to this, our young people, okay? Our young people, not old people. I'm talking about teenagers, okay? They have more stress than me and you. So listen now to the woman say she saw her daughter was talking to the man. Say she wanted to get off the bus, but she didn't have no more bus money. Now, listen, people. You can imagine that. She wanted to get off the bus, but she didn't have no more money because that's all she had. That means when that little $1.50, when she spent that with her daughter, if she had one little $10 or $15, she give her $6 or $7, she must take $2 or $3 or whatever she get. So she ain't even have $1.50 to stop the bus for her daughter. She don't have $1.50 seeing her daughter talking to a man who she just sent to school. And she on a bus seeing her daughter talk to a man. And then when she get home, that must kill her. She couldn't stop the bus because she didn't have no one to ask. So if she come off the bus, she don't have $1.50 to get back on the bus. So she have to sacrifice in thinking that her daughter's just talking to somebody on her way to school. So she have to put in her mind, her daughter ain't going to stay with this gentleman. Her daughter probably know this person or this problem, and her daughter's passing talking to this gentleman. So that's what I think she had to do to convince herself. But she came home from work, and then she asked her daughter where she get the money from. And her daughter eventually broke down and tell her she get it from a man, and that she had sex with this guy who she don't even know. You don't know if he have AIDS, you don't know if he have syphilis, you don't know if he... Man, listen, man, it's crazy. And I'm not discriminating no one who have no sickness now. Don't get me wrong, please. Because anyone could get sick. But there are some people out there who are that way, and they try to give it to people, because I'm just saying, I'm not discriminating. I'm just telling you, there's different ways of killing people out here, and there's people out there who are sick in their mind and are hateful and spiteful, and they want people to suffer the way they're suffering. You understand? And that's what's going on in this country. I'm talking real talk. You understand? I've seen this, When I used to be on the street selling drugs, listen, man, that's why I stopped, because I couldn't deal with it, people. The things I see with my eyes, and that's what makes me the person I am today. Come on this radio and preach. I'm a preacher. You understand? You don't never know. But anyway, she must press charges on the gentleman. He was arrested. They went to court. I don't know if they did a blood sample. I don't know if she was touched. I don't know how he got charged or whatever. But anyway, they must have went to court. And then, he was released. You understand? Then on the next level, there was this former DNA candidate. I know him very well, Mr. Mario Mortimer. He was running to be a candidate for the DNA, looking to be a member of parliament. Here's his story now. He was crop. This Bahamas is a crazy place. Call I ever Jew. This is a crazy place. There are more sexual predators over here, man and female. So protect your boy child and protect your girl child, all right? Listen, talk to them. There are a lot of sexual predators in this country. So anyway, there was this young guy, I don't know what the report is, but I'm just going to, the first part of the report. So anyway, once he got put out of his house, because that's when you're stinking road, you don't listen to your parents. So he got put out, and then I guess he was walking somewhere, met somebody, and this gentleman told him come stay by him. Oh Lord, you don't listen to your parents? Hey, you hear that? When people telling you, don't do this, dying, say dying, hey, dying hot. You know? You don't listen. Hey, your grandmother telling you, and your mama telling you, dying hot. So you don't listen, you hear that? Or you been here before them. You don't listen. Hey? Parents, I'm telling you, people telling you, don't go this way, don't go in the car with the other boys, drive reckless, or don't hang with the person that's the person's bad company. You go with the person, you end up getting shoot or you get locked up. You know, and then you can say, your parents can tell you, I told you, so you head too hard. Anyway, so you know when you hear that, you're like, listen, right? So anyway, that's how I always put it together when I listen to read these things, because you get put out. So you get put out. That means you disrespectfully and listen, you been here a long time. Right? So y'all young people out there, y'all don't listen. Y'all don't want to listen. These are things that can happen here. Now I ain't putting more on you. That's just the way it is. I had to feel it. I had to go on through it. Huh? Because I don't listen. But trust me, I listen afterwards when all them stuff happened. I wish I did listen because I wouldn't have to go on through it. But anyway, the report state, this in the Facebook now. You know, like I tell you, like read. So now, little boy, end up with this gentleman, the same gentleman, Mr. Marin, who I tell you was running for the DNA. Boy, I tell you, but a lot of people in sheep clothing, you know. See, one thing, there's a lot of wolf in sheep clothing. See, with me, I ain't no wolf. Hey? I's a lion, I tell the truth. I ain't no sheep clothing. Me, I tell the truth. I tell the truth in my life. I used to tell the truth. So I ain't no wolf, no sheep clothing. Hey? I's talking myself or not. You understand? All right. If I do any foolishness, I talk to myself. You see me coming on the radio and bad mouth myself or not. Okay? So I criticize myself. So anyway, now, you hear that, you like, listen, you like free dance? All right. You believe you're man? All right. You believe you're being everyone else? All right. Okay? Go on there, see this guy. I said, man, look, you can stay by me. Go on by that boy. The boy say, you staying here, you got to free up. Oh, Lord. Boy, look here. Yeah, I tell you, when you hear that, and you like listen to your parents or someone who been here long time. So now you get put out, you meet this person, person played nice, let you in the house, and I tell you, yeah, he's a man and you's a man, but this hey, but anyway, listen, people, I ain't only telling you what I read, all right? But this happening all over now, so now as we speak. So fathers, talk to your son and talk to your daughters, all right? Everyone has their own life to do what they want. But that don't mean it's right, okay? We all know what is right, okay? Even though we do wicked, even the wicked people is do right. Because the wicked people, when they have their children, they just give their children the best. You understand? And they ready to kill other people's children. If someone children bother their children, they ready to kill somebody for their children. You understand? So they will do right for their children. You understand? So y'all understand when they come up. So anyway, he left for a little while. You know, he must see back and forth for a little while. The little guy must he couldn't take it. You know, and must he parking serious, you know. I just saying, like I said, I tell you the truth, this is what it is. But you know, I can rub it in, right? Because I gotta talk and learn from experience, right? So others don't have to go through this. When you hear that, you know, listen, so man must he parking. So he decide, man, that's enough. So he going out. Must he try do something else? Ain't nothing work. He have to go back. Going back, same thing happened again. So, he went to the police. My guy must get physical with him, whatever the situation is. He went to the police. The guy got charged because I think he was underage or something like that. And now the guy is spending like what? I think he's spending years in prison. He got a good sentence. And I know the guy, and I'm not discrediting him, but I'm just saying, when you hear that, listen, But the little girl who her mom sent to school ended up going with a man, even though he was released. But we don't know what she did with that man. But she did it for money. An old lady ain't had $1.50 to stop for her daughter. She would rather go to work. And you can't blame her because, like I said, people don't know. People just don't have it. You understand? Just don't have it. Now, remember last week when I talked about this? Remember last week, the caller who called previous, he was talking about the little girl. Remember I talked about the girl last week with the defense force officer. Remember I said that she loved him. Remember I said that she loved him at that age because she was going with him. She is alleged that she was going with him for at the age of 11 or 12, and then around 15 or something like that, when her mom caught the officer and gave chase, and then the police apprehended him, and he was charged. And I said that she loved that guy, and now you see when she went to court and she was crushed, and she said she was pressured, and that he did not do nothing to her. You see? You understand? Because now, I tell you the love part comes a part of it. So like I say, I have no more clip, right? Okay, so like I say, that's what it is, Our young youths, listen. Look, all them getting lured for money. So if we create more opportunities, we build up these communities, and we're able to start a lot of small business and fix up this community, give people more opportunities, we won't have the mother need to, we may be able to help everybody. I know that for a fact. I know that we can't bring murders. I know that we always gonna have murders, but I know that we don't need to have 100 murders. I know that we don't need to have 80 murders. I know we don't need to have 70. I know we could bring it down to about 40. Because there are disputes that happen between, married people. Sometimes boyfriend, girlfriend. Sometimes people get violent, and sometimes people end up stopping and and shooting people out of anger. And sometimes then they ain't really, they intend to, but they don't really intend to, but through the anger, they end up stopping the person in the wrong spot, or they end up getting angry and shoot the person out of anger, or knock down the person in the car. You see females, in the gas station getting mad with their boyfriend, and then, out of anger, they just run the car over their boyfriend, or, and sometimes the individual dies, sometimes he has broken legs. It's always the woman, and that's sort of anger, and then we got always have that. But if we work on it, have an anger management, in these communities and stuff like that, because we are a violent nation. You understand? The World Health Organization say every country that has a population over 100,000 individual, on average over 100 murders, a conflict zone. So that's why we have mental health issues in our country. All this is a part of leads to child abuse, rape, murder. All this is a part of poverty, and these things I tackle. And I want us to do our best to invest in building a strong community by building a strong family structure where we have a lot of persons in the community who are doing well for themselves, like business owners, and then it's a trickle-down effect, and we working together, we can change our country and our community. And I think that's the best way to go, honestly speaking. Yeah. If you look at all these cases, and they are young people making decisions that they don't understand. That's why I say sex education is very important. Because if a young girl go out there and she just meet a man, or a young boy go there and meet a girl, or a young boy go there and meet, you know, they can get sexually transmitted diseases because they are vulnerable and people will take advantage of them because of their age. A big grown man in his 30s having sex with a girl who's 14 or 13 because she has size on her. No, and we have a lot of that. So if we teach our kids about sex education and you could get pregnant, you could get sexually transmitted disease, you also could set your life back because if you have this child and you plan for your future, it's going to slow you back if you don't have a plan to carry yourself further. Means that you're going to be a responsible parent and you have plans that when you reach 19, when you reach 22, when you reach 25, how far you want to be and what have you accomplished and what is your goals. We're going to take this call on Guardian Radio. Good night, you're on Inside in the City.
Good night, Scrooge G.
Good night, good night.
Everything good?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Hey, Scrooge G.
Hey.
You, like the last caller said, the John corrupt officials, but he ain't mentioned all of the illegal documents and the IE passport, voters card, a national insurance card, every card be up.
Yes, yes.
And also like on. I mean, like I know it's in the papers. In Bahamas Press, they were saying that since the PRP come in, they bring some 600 and something police officers and whatever they added since, right? But I saw last week when I was riding down, I passed through Bay Street. Like, you know where Shirley Street, where the light was off, right?
Where it is?
On Shirley Street.
Okay.
I mean, on my Bay Street. That's on my Bay Street and East Street.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, the light was off, right? This 5 foot guy, he got to do better, you know. We got Bahamians in this country who need a job. The Royal Bahamas Police Force. I mean, I tell you no lie, right? We got to do background check on Bahamians. We do that, right? How do we know who these people is from Haiti, who they have on our police force? I mean, this guy, you can see his Haitian and everything up front, right? And got guns. How we could reach to that? When all these fraudulent documents and all of that, and these places installing themselves in department in our country. Huh? That's corruption, right?
Yes, sir.
You know, but on another note, right? Do you realize in Haiti that African force they left, and by the end of the all of them will be out? You realize that?
I'm getting that information from you.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm getting that information from you.
Okay, now you know that they going out because the whole thing was inadequate. First, you heard a couple of weeks ago the 16th defense force officers who they had over there to add to the 4, right?
Yeah.
Which is just pure foolishness. Because I mean, how you figure 20 Royal Bahamas Defense Force officers can do anything in Haiti, but they say they were manning the airport, right? But you know, international sources say that all the ports are controlled by gangs. Okay, we got our embassy open over there, right? Right? Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
You got an embassy open over there, right? And the defense force officers there, right? The Haitians don't have no government, right? Haiti don't have no government, right? And what are our officials doing over there? What is their purpose? Then Bahamas there is known to be going there, bringing them back, clean, empty, going and bringing them back. And also on you hear on CNS, our national airways, right? You hear the Bahamas there, you know, the most lucrative route and advertising $1.35 for freight. When you want to, you know, send stuff or whatever. This is nonsense, man. Nonsense. And but I can tell you what, on the 1st of April, Haiti will be right in order because you know what? For 12,000 gang members they have over there, when they had this 1,500 personnel from Africa and the Bahamas and a couple of Caribbean countries, right? They they trying to cool them gang off. The gang them they ain't cool enough. They get order, right? But the reality is that the police force in Haiti is only 6,000 and only 400 waking. What you think was going on? We sending our office over there like Haiti is the Bahamas, you know? But you know what? On April 1st, Haiti will be fixed. They got 50,000 troops on the ground, and these ain't no UN peacekeepers. They're going to eliminate the gangs. And Haiti, they're going to restore and bring Haiti to order, like every place supposed to be in this world. And all these fraudulent passports and stuff, them people are getting deported back where they belong at home. And the last call, he could go back home too.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Ricardo made some interesting points, I understand where you're coming from. We have fraudulent passports and stuff. We heard the Prime Minister talk about it, but we had the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Fred Mitchell, deny stuff like this, we know it's close to the general election. We, the Bahamian citizen, know these fraudulent documents have been happening in the country for many, many years, but they've been popping up on a regular basis. What I fail to find very interesting is the fact that we just had this father and son, okay, with fraudulent documents. The point of the matter should be who signed off on it, where did he get the passport, book, and stuff like that. All these things should be accounted for. So what we need, besides these two individuals being apprehended, they're on bail and stuff like that, what we need is to find the persons who was able to set them up to give them these fraudulent documents. It's step by step. Who gave the pictures? Who put the pictures in the book? Who signed this? Who went through the paperwork? They went through more than one person's hand, so it should be 3 more persons here should be investigated. Hearing the Prime Minister say what he is saying, we have heard the denial of the Minister of Foreign Affairs a few times when he talked about, no, it's not happening. There are many people. We had the Coalition of Independence, Lincoln Bain and Miss Charlotte, they were talking about it. But even before that, we were having a discussion about this. But anyway, it was denied, but now we are seeing a few persons who are being passport of Haitian nationality here in the country. And I think that what has happened is that over the course of the last 50 years in the country, people of that background, Haitian national background, who are now Bahamian nationals, and then we have Bahamians here, who are Bahamians, are being running a scam to sell the documents. Where is our national insurance card? It has to be money involved. We are seeing Haitian nationals before the court for fraudulent national insurance card. I've seen persons from the National Insurance Board are being taken. Just a few weeks ago, there was a Bahamian who had permanent residents who reside here in the Bahamas of a nationality of a European was here selling Bahamian documents. So it ain't just one person, even though the Prime Minister is stating this. So people are suggesting that, persons of this passport can vote in the general election and have an outcome in the general election. So it's a very serious matter. It's like treason in the country, and our passport should be protected. That's the number one priority in the country, just like the Constitution. Because our passport could go anywhere in the world because we're not terrorists. We could go in any country in the world because of our passport. And if you allow our passport to be fraudulent, which is happening now in the country, the countries will start to look at us as a corrupt nation and stop us from traveling around the world because of the greed and the corruption of people of that nationality and of Bahamian nationality who are working in these departments, not knowing what they're doing is hurting us, and will come back to haunt us because we saw Donald Trump and the U.S. government and U.S. embassy just put tariffs on import products going out to the country. Export products means going out. And then we look at the visa restriction. And all this is an indication that the U.S. government has started to look at us as a corrupt nation, but also they're starting to put pressure on our travel documents because of fraudulent documents being given away to persons of illegal status in the country receiving these documents. And we're all going to pay the piper. I heard the former minister when he said that he don't think that we're going to need a visa to go in America. Maybe we do, but we also used to travel on our police record. And he make reference that we still can go to the U.S. On our police record. We are one of the few places in the world where we could go to the U.S. with our police record. And if you see it reach a point where they start to question us and say we can no longer travel on our police record, then the value of our passport will devalue. And we wouldn't be allowed to go everywhere in the world where we want to, because people know the Bahamas as a place of beauty, tranquility, you know? And we are recognized. Every movie I watch, we hear about the Bahamas. So we are worldwide, so we cannot jeopardize that for a general election by selling out our documents. That's the right way to go about it. And the evidence is there, despite what the Prime Minister is saying, because the Prime Minister himself knows that these things been happening a long time. It's just that the Prime Minister be so busy, and probably, in his case, you know, he probably knows what goes on. I'm not saying that he is given the okay, but when it comes to a general election, both parties would do it, you know, and have been doing it, okay? This is undeniable. You can't run from that, okay? Both of them have dealt with giving documents or helping people get documents and citizenship to support both of the political parties in this country. You know, ifs and no buts about that. Now, we might don't have the direct proof, but we know that as citizens, based on how many people are being charged before the courts. So just know that. Let us go deeper than this. The more we allow ourselves to be corrupt in these affairs of our passport, then so on the record, we can't go nowhere in the world. We to be targeted. So on the record, you're from the Bahamas, you know, like when you're from Jamaica, and you go in places, people can check you because they think you're bringing in marijuana. Okay? Yeah. If you come to a place like Iran, you're a terrorist. Or Afghanistan, you know, like, they can't go everywhere in the world. They can't travel everywhere in the world like how we could travel everywhere in the world, you know. They're restricted because of their nationality and their passport. So you have to keep that, you know. It should be protected. It's people who are on these departments who become Haitian nationals. They look for when they go to the immigration department, and people teach them step by step on how to go around and milk Haitian nationals. You know, you understand? Work around them. Sometimes they capture them, right? Don't give us certain money. This goes on in our country, misses and sirs. This goes on in our country. It's a way to make money. You know, when we're supposed to be a law-abiding, but this how it is, because people were trained. Those officers, young officers, the one who just was released from the immigration department, he was just a young officer. He learned that from somebody in our department. Okay, that's something that is inherited. Just like the Bible tells you, say, if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. All that stuff. Okay. He inherited that, and that's in the department. So the department itself has that characteristics. You come in here, this would be his due. And they see it from their superior officers, and they learn it themselves. So what we need to do is we need to shapen up and understand that we have a problem and put the right mechanism in place to prosecute, to investigate, and to put before the court anyone that's found liable for giving out our documents. But it needs to be a thorough investigation from head to bottom. We don't just want the father and son. We want the person who gave the book. We want the person who gave the picture, who put the stamp on it. We want all of them step by step. And then we're making some progress. And continue to monitor. And before we give out citizenship, we shouldn't be giving out our passport. We should be giving out permanent residency and temporary work permit, because we do need people of nationality, and then you work on your citizenship. We're going to take this last call. Go ahead, caller. You're on side in the city.
Yeah, what's going on, boss? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah, you know, me and you, we been around a little while, so we know what's be going on in this Bahamas on the road. You know, we know.
Yes, sir.
But the one with the father and son, well, he had a legit passport, right? Now, the they say he obtained the passport by getting his son a fake marriage license and all that. 'Cause, you know, once you get married and all that, right?
Yes, yes.
And then, but it have to be some money involved in that.
Yes.
They involve the legit passport.
Yes.
But, you know, they ain't get busted. He go on the register. He get a national insurance card. And when he go on the register to vote, then he get busted. But the next one is what have me puzzled. Because the next one, an immigration officer bust him. So when I trying to figure out if he used that passport to go out the country, and then when he's coming back in the country with the passport, he get bust. They did self-cover that this was a fake passport, or he make this up in the States, something, you know, the States over there good. He make up this passport over there, some type of how, and then was coming in, and then the immigration officer discovered that this is a bunch of foolishness. This ain't our passport. That's what I was trying to figure out. But the one with the father and son, that, you know, money involved in that.
Yeah, money involved in that, man.
Yeah, to get that pushed through like that and thing, and they ain't really researched the marriage license and who he got married to and all that, and you get a legitimate passport. No, little money involved in getting that.
That's why we have the watchdoors, passes, what do you call them? Justice of the peace.
Right.
These are the ones who we got to put before the court. Some of them, we got to put before the court. Some of these justices of the peace. This the problem with coming right to justice of the peace.
Right. You're in like people always complaining about them and talking about them, but
they're the one who give the documents and the stamps.
Right. They selling out the country. Yeah, they're who selling out their bait.
And we have them of some different nationality. They have an agenda. They're doing it for the money. They're not doing it. They have the citizens of their country. No, they're doing it for the money alone and messing us up.
Yeah, but kudos to the Parliament Register officer, boy.
Yes.
Because see, whoever that was saying, man, hold on,
something ain't right, yes.
Something ain't right with this, man. You know, and they going backtrack and checking in and going deep in and checking, and then they find out, well, man, you ain't married to no one. This marriage license ain't legit and everything. And they go, either end up register and vote right in this upcoming election. And we don't know 1,000 more out there just like it.
Yes, I have a friend, my boy Elroy. He could contest to this. There was this guy, he lived in the building by Elroy, and Elroy was a rent. I forget it, he just passed away. And he had a Bahamian passport, and Elroy come to me and Elroy couldn't stop laughing. And the guy say, me get Bahamian passport. I see it with my own eyes. Me. See it with my own eyes. I forget what his name is, man. He was living right in the building around the corner. He passed away about a year now. And he had a Bahamian passport.
Wow.
You understand?
And like you say, this a year ago.
This a year ago.
A year ago. Wow. Boy, we in trouble.
You understand?
Yeah. But they might still recall. Tell everyone come into the passport office. Bring your passport, let's go over it. Let's look at it. Let's make sure this passport, everybody, all the Bahamians in the Bahamas, come into the passport office before election. Let's look at them passport. Let's go over them.
Yes.
Let's see what they're checking for the fake.
What I like with the parliamentary registrar, right? Right now, when you're going to get registered, you have to show them on the computer exactly where you live. So when you go, yes, I love that. That is a barrier as well. But still, I love that. I love that. Before they did a good job with that. They make sure verify. So if you're a foreign national here and you get a fraudulent Beeman passport and they ask you where you live, and you say, I live Hay Street. You can't go on the map and say, well, Hay Street, right here, across from the Urban News Center, and I live right here. You're in trouble.
Yeah, because you can't pick up no shoes down in the back of the dig up in the back of Bacardi Wood. Down in the back of Them shocking ain't got no roof.
So we have a venerable measure in place, but there are passports out there who are obtained illegally in the country.
Yeah, but on a serious matter though, man, that's treason, like you said earlier for true, man.
It's treason.
We can't like Trump said, we can't let them steal this election.
So that's a bad right there, boy.
Yeah, but boss, all right, they know the shoes time almost gone.
Yeah, man, enough respect.
Man. You know, we doing it in every fight. We don't call it, you know, we doing it.
Yeah, man, enough respect, man. Enjoy it, man. I appreciate the calls, man. I love for y'all to come and express yourself because that's what we're doing inside the inner city. We talk about the problems that are facing us. And you heard those problems, you heard the problems they talk about with the little boy, you know, listen to this old lady. So he don't let me say he get exactly what he deserve. All right? But when you hear that and you don't listen, you don't listen to your parents, well, he run from that. But he got to go on back. And he run from it again. He ran for it so much that he gone to the police. And you think he's going to be all right as a young man? He's going to have stress. You know? Again, I want to thank each and every one of you who listen to Inside the Inner City. This show is for you guys. I'm only a messenger. And I'm here to send a message that if we don't invest directly in the inner city community and around the country, get rid of poverty, we can continue for our young youths to be making the mistakes we talk about tonight on the show. The little boy, the little girl who her mother saw why is she on the bus going to work and couldn't get off the bus because she had $1.50 to stop the bus. So she had to live with the fact that she saw her daughter with a big grown man. Lucky for her daughter came home. Yeah, before last, we had a young girl, 12-year-old, a girl, right? Lost her life in the same particular manner. Okay? Let's empower us. Let's empower our citizens. Let's educate our kids. Okay? About sex and about making the right decision about sex and when you should have sex. Okay? And let's provide a better opportunity. Okay? My name is Valentino Brown, host of the talk show Inside the Inner City. Again, check the small business out. Samana Road and the small business at any urban renewal center. If you have a small business and if you're looking to start a small business, go and apply and get your grant and go and make your life better so that when you have children, that you can take care of children so that you will not leave them in this world to suffer. And many people out there